I'm Barbara Britt, and I am a culture strategist, and I really hope to be yours. Today, we're going to talk about the generation gap or the perceived generation gap. Right now, it's the most wonderful time in the world. We have 5 generations, 5 generations in the workforce. We have 5, and there can be even a 6th and a 7th in some areas, but we've got 5 that are actively working right now. So what is it when we talk about a generation gap? What are we using as a negative that should be a positive? Well, we're going to go through some of the generations step by step, and I'm going to bring to you all the great and exciting things that are going to happen with that generation, and then also some things that they're misunderstood by, and then that they're judged by incorrectly, and then maybe that they just need to look and see. Now, on the generation gap, I don't want you to think I'm telling you that you just have to let people get away with different things and all, but the fact is, how we were raised, what we came through, that does make a difference in how we view life and how we absolutely join in or not. So, I'm so lucky that I get to work with different organizations, large companies, hospitals, colleges, schools, city organizations, SHRM organizations, banks. So what I'm seeing is that when I come in and they bring me in and they might verbalize it as differently. A lot of times it's just, I will sell it on the culture of things. And the culture is about that. How accepting are we? How do we listen to the different generations? But so let's start thinking about this. Every generation in the workforce is bringing some great, new, wonderful ideas. You can't beat it. I mean, they're bringing great things. And if we accept these generations in, and then we tell them to be quiet, or we tell them they don't have a good work ethic, or we tell them that, that they couldn't possibly understand, or that they haven't been here long enough to have, all the memories that were created. Right there, we're going to absolutely alienate people. They're going to go away from us. They're going to go, wow, I'm not accepted. And people go, I don't do that. Well, I want you to do an experiment. I want you to go out and you ask people and say, what about your millennials? What about your Gen Zs? In fact, the other day I did this experiment. I go, oh my gosh, the Gen Zs are joining the workforce and they are awesome. Now, one of the people talking has a child that is a Gen Z. And granted, she will say, oh, awesome things. This does this, and this. But she said, out of her mouth came, most Gen Zs are lazy. Most Gen Zs are this. Most Gen Zs. Well, you know what? There wasn't one fact that was the truth. They were facts, but they didn't have any truth to them. So when you go back and you research it, so I see this countless times. We have 5 generations in the workforce. Is that not awesome? Is it not awesome? When I'm in the workforce, I'm bringing experience. I've lived for a long time. I've had different things. But when I have a Gen Zer come around, I turn around and go, how about this? How can I do this technically? How can I add to this? Show me how to use my phone better. How can I do this? Most people will result in that. So I can go and I can share. I don't have to tell. I don't have to tell them to be quiet. Well, let me give you some news. In 2 years or less, really, 75% of the workforce will be millennials. 75% of the workforce will be millennials. And Gen Zers are zooming in there. I mean, they are zooming in. So if I discount any age group, if I go and classify them, if I go and judge them, I cannot get the most out of people. I can't serve them enough. I can't, if I already have a prearranged concept of what they're going to do, I'm taking and I'm just crushing that word for the culture of my company is going to be lacking. People aren't going to be running to my company, even if it pays a lot of money. They're not going to be running after it. So think about when we have that. Let's think about things to celebrate each generation. What can they bring? What value are they adding? And you know what's important is what can I give them to add value to them? Here's all the things they can do, but I can give them this, or I can afford them these opportunities, so they're going to do this. They're going to flourish. And once we come with that idea and get rid of all those preconceived ideas, the generation gap will be something to be celebrated and worked with, and pretty soon we'll turn around and we'll go, what generation gap? What are you talking about? I cherish this and I look at this. So let's get rid of the mindset that your generation is the only generation that can be excited, that wants to create and develop, that can be counted on. Let's get rid of that concept. And let's start looking at all the great things they can do. Start a checklist. What are they great at? And let me tell you what, there's not one generation out there, not one, that shouldn't be appreciated, that shouldn't be challenged and given a place of rich, fertile soil to grow and develop in. How about that? How about if I looked at every person coming in new that was coming into my company, no matter what age, and I looked at the proper soil, the proper water, the proper fertilizer to help them grow the most. What have you lost? But if you don't do that, what you've lost is, I'm going to go on my next programs and I'm going to talk about what will cause a generation to absolutely leave your company. And I will tell you this right now, you can't afford to lose a generation. None of us can, because each generation brings its uniqueness, its skills, its abilities, its work ethics, its integrity, its emotions. Each generation, we can't afford to lose one. So let's listen, let's value them, and let's go and dig deep about what their skills and uniqueness is all about. And then do something. Walk up to them and say this: I'm going to utilize every skill and talent you have. I'm going to allow you to have a voice. I'm going to allow you to fail. Get back up again and keep on creating. That's how you stop having a generation gap. Again, I'm Barbara Britt. If you want more information on this, I would love to come to your office. I do programs all the time where I come in and just do a slight analysis, and I can already show you where you're at. Then you can decide how much I want to grow, how much I need to grow, and how exciting it is to be part of my company again. Again, Barbara Britt, thank you so much for this opportunity.